Hey guys, Electron Man. I got this Tunemaster SM950 pulled apart, and kind of interesting. After I got the back of it off, and then I was about 6 screws on the front there. I was able. It came out as a whole module. Pretty cool. I mean, I really like this. Kind of impressed me that they've actually got that speaker in a sealed cabinet up top here. I have a feeling this thing's gonna have really good tone. I don't know about the quality of the speaker, but putting it in a sealed cabinet like that will definitely help the tone. Kind of just go ahead and give you a whole overview of it. You got your power supply, your AC power supply right here, and obviously this is the main tuning section of your radio there. There's your transformer. Pretty hardy looking power supply, actually. Probably a 3 or 4 amp one, I would imagine. Caps look good in it. I don't see any that are look leaky. I can't tell the brand name, but it looks like some pretty good quality electrolytic caps in here. Not seeing any real problems. I was really surprised after the outside of it. After I showed you guys the outside of it, when I got on the inside of it, I mean, I have blown it out, but it really wasn't. I mean, other than some dust, it really was not that dirty. Apparently, that case is pretty sealed, and it kept most of the dirt to the outside, which is a good thing. Just trying to kind of give you a full view of this. Really interesting way they set it up. There you can tell there's another tuner, which the main reason I took it apart is I wanted to get all these variable resistors or rheostats, whatever you want to call them. I wanted to get them all deoxidate, all clean them all, and treat them so that get all that all that buildup, they get that tarnish or whatever it is, they get on those contacts and make them nice and clean. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I wanted to get it apart and see what it looked like anyway. I don't think I'm going to be able to help myself. I've been looking, and if you look at these lights that it had on it, if you turn it on, they're so dim. I just can't help myself. I'm going to have to go ahead and do an LED conversion on it. It's just, I'm in here, I might as well. I was thinking, well, it kind of takes away from the stock, but it's a plastic radio and it's 32 years old, so I think it actually enhances it. And maybe I'll tape the old light bulbs off to the side on the inside of the case, so if somebody really wanted to go back and restore it back to absolute original, they could put these incandescent in. But it just doesn't make sense. They're not as efficient, they're not as bright. I think I'll go ahead and drop a couple LEDs in it. But anyway, let me go ahead and move on with this. I'm just in the cleaning process, and wanted to show you the inside of it before I get it put back together and kind of see what the whole thing looks like after I get it cleaned up. I got to thinking, I'm going to convert these LED lights, and I don't know that I ever really explain how I do it, but it's really pretty simple. But I thought I'd go ahead and go over it. Maybe you are kind of curious how you do that. But anyway, I've already prepped my little LED light here. I mean, I buy these by the bulk at Amazon. I'll put a link down there, but they're very, very reasonable. I think you get 50 for $7 or $8. But I usually do the super bright white ones. But anyway, the main thing with LEDs when you're converting over from the incandescent is obviously the ones I buy are pre-configured to work on 12 volts. They'll work good on 6 volts too, or 6 to 12 volts. A little dimmer on 6 volts. But anyway, an LED can only run at like 3.5 volts, so there has to be a resistor. But the ones I buy are pre-configured. But anyway, I'm down in the weeds on that. But main point is when you want to do conversions, is make sure that your voltage that you're going to hook up your from your incandescent to your LED is in the correct range. So anyway, I've already cut this incandescent light out, bulb light, whatever you want to call it, incandescent, and I'm going to turn on the radio here, and all I need to do is, as you can see, I've got one lead clipped on there, and they're not marked, they're just both black, so I need to find out which one's the positive and negative. Okay, so I now know that actually I have it wired right at that negative, because it doesn't have a negative on the meter. And that's actually about 8 volts in the line. Must be from the 9 volt rail, whatever, which would be perfect to run LEDs. Of course, I've already got one hooked up. But anyway, you just need to make sure you know the voltage, because on an LED, it's polarity sensitive. So I need to make sure that I have the positive to the positive as far as where I'm replacing it, where the incandescent didn't care. So anyway, that's the point I thought I'd bring up on that. But as you can see now, I've done checked, and I know my voltage was within the range of that it's a candidate for an LED. Of course, you could always put a resistor in, depending what the voltage is. You can put a different size resistor to make sure you don't burn the LED out. But it's perfect. But it's perfect for my application here. I'm at 8 volts. This is set it for like 12 volts, so it'll light up perfect for this. So really, the only thing I need to make sure was that is 8 volts DC, and that I know what the polarity is on these two. So now that I know what the polarity is, I'll just go ahead and wire it up to those two, and I put a little shrink wrap on there, and I slide it over and shrink wrap it and mount it, and you're done. It's really pretty simple. Not a hard job, but anyway, I thought I'd kind of go over that a little bit since I was sitting here converting this over to LEDs. Okay, there you go. You can see where I heat shrinked them and soldered them nice and neatly, both LEDs in there. And now look at this, ba-da! We now have LED lights in there. A little bit of trouble, but and probably unnecessary. But I mean, the thing about it is these incandescents, they do go out. Those LEDs will probably last the life of the radio. So it took me 30 minutes or so to put them in, but it's a one-time deal more than likely. So it's kind of worth the effort. And I think that I like the white better than the yellow that the incandescents put off. So I think they put out about the same amount of light, to be honest. But neither one of them are real bright. LEDs tend to be directional and almost need to be pointed in that forward direction, which I could do. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it alone there. I just wanted to go ahead and get the LEDs in there, and I can tell it's going to light up that dial nice and pretty. So let's go ahead and get this thing back together, and we'll kind of go over the whole how the switch is and everything else works on it, and kind of give you a drive-through on it.